So in a second, we're going to pull on Sheen, who is our animation lead, and he's going to talk a little bit about like Gore and where the development came from and where we're going.
Super hyped.
Maybe a little preview.
Yep.
Okay, welcome back. I'd like to introduce Sheen. Sheen, want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit more to the audience and let them know who you are and what you've done and what we're doing with Gore.
All right, so I'm Sheen. I've been working for it for more than 10 years now. I started working here with Tim Willits on Rage, worked on Doom, did a bunch of gory stuff on that one.
Yeah, I remember when you came on board, like you were like one of the experts in like facial and hand animation.
Right.
We were just starstruck when we got you. Actually.
Cool. Yeah, but that quickly turned into more gory, bloody stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now I'm on Quake, kind of getting the it flavor to this particular product.
Yeah. So on Doom, Gore became one of the like core features that branded the game a bit, where people like identify Gore with Doom. So when we started talking about Gore with Quake, we started talking first about Doom and what you'd done on Doom and why it worked for that game, and also why it wouldn't necessarily work for our game.
Right. Yeah. So for Doom, it's a sync system. So basically, when you initiate glory kill, you're locked for about 1.5 seconds or so. So it's in a way, it's kind of like a throw move in fighting games.
Yeah.
Right? Like
so
you commit, you get rewarded by delivering damage or even death to the enemy, and then you get the sequel animations. But for Quake, it's because such a fluid, a skill-based shooter thing, we couldn't really do like stop the player and lock them in place. So we need to do some different way of actually making it so that it doesn't interrupt the gameplay.
Yeah. So with Doom, there's a lot of melee, and of course, in our game, everything needs to be at a distance, and so we can't stop the player, for multiple reasons, and so we really wanted to find out how we keep the spirit of Quake, but like celebrate those moments more.
Right.
So we talked a lot about how do we make certain moments special more than others. One thing that I think stood out to me about the Quake 3 jibs was that they're always the same, and you could kind of generate the same effect from any weapon, and so they were great and elaborate, but they also weren't entirely special from one moment to another. So one thing we wanted to do with Quake was really make it where we could identify how someone died by looking at the Gore death, and so that you got different experiences from different weapons. Can you talk a little bit about how we sorted through that and came across like our condition system?
Yeah, so like obviously we can make this cool, death animations or Gore stuff, but the thing is, if it happens all the time, or it just happens randomly, it just kind of becomes just a norm. So we wanted to come up with a system that is basically contextual in the way that you have to qualify conditions to actually trigger them. So for instance, like the shotgun, if you actually kill the enemy point blank, meaning you're very close to the enemy and blast them, that might rip them in half.
Yeah.
Or the machine gun, if you actually shoot them, it's a damage per second thing. That if you actually shoot them like continuously for a certain amount of time, they blow up. Stuff like that. So we have a very specific kind of rule sets that trigger specific death animations, but also those are actually location based. So if you hit the head, they'll blow up and goes away, or you can rip the arm off. So it's actually very interactive in a way, but also it feels more natural than just like seeing these like random death animations.
Yeah. So you can take off an arm, you can like cut someone across the chest.
Right.
We have a whole bunch of different places where we've chopped up all these bodies to have kind of radically different results based off of what weapon you use and where you hit them.
I think that's definitely like something we do very different from others, actually, because most of games out there, they basically swap the character and then just gives this like random jib pieces. As for our particular game, what you guys going to see eventually is that the actual body comes apart. So like it's not like you are swapping the mesh and then becomes this like random goo. Yeah, you can actually get to see like a character split in half, and it's that particular character, and it's quite challenging actually. You think about it for games like this, because we have so many different skins, you know. But we don't have any like edge case like, oh, the lower skin of this character can't gore or jib. There's none of that.
I think that's one of the impressive things to me about this whole feat of what you've done with the Gores, because it's not just taking, here's Ranger, this is what he looks like when he's chopped in half, but no matter what armor outfits you're wearing for your helmet, your chest, and your legs, like you can cut across that and you have the correct pieces on the jibs. Yeah, and I think that the seamless look of that presentation really pays off. Like it feels very solid, and the player feedback is really night and day, versus actually breaking that particular character apart versus just changing it to different random goo pieces. Nice. And then of course the pieces that come off, they all have like ragdoll physics, so they're bounced around. It's not just like canned animations. No, it's kind of a hybrid. Yeah. Like we wanted to still craft the actual presentation as well, but as soon as it hits the other players or the collision or walls or whatever, it goes into physics. So it's still dynamic. I like it this way. Yeah. Well, I think that we're okay. Got a little message from outside. But I think we're going to move forward and give a little sneak peek. Yeah, let's do it. We have a video to roll. It's still early, and this is just kind of a dev video. It's not a big production. It's a few weeks old now at this point. So we still hope to make improvements, but we wanted to kind of let you have a little insight into development as we keep going with Gore. Right. Roll it. Shoot with it.